Welcome to Table Talk Friday, your weekly dose of D&D banter between three men in a bedroom. If you like their style, come back every Friday for another upload. Now, back to the boys.
Okay, Drew, so we were just talking about my Spartan race, right? No, so at the end of the race, they give you a bunch of stuff and you get placements. Now, my first time with Spartan race was when I was in Monterey, and my buddy, he asked me, he was like, "Hey, I need a battle buddy. You know, in military, they want you to have someone with you at all times to do stuff." So he's like, "I need a battle buddy. Now, you don't have to say yes, but like, will you come with me to run the Spartan Beast?" Now, the Beast is a 21K. It's like 13-ish miles. I think it's either 12.6 or 13.1, something like that. Right in that ballpark. It's 30 obstacles. And I was like, I've always wanted to do a Spartan race. And he was like, "Yeah, this is the hardest one. And I've never done one either." And I went, "Okay, I'm in." And so we signed up. We both got our tickets and we went and ran it. I finished the race. Now, mind you, during the race, like obstacle 4, I fall off of one of the walls and really not fall off, but like there's walls you have to jump over. I'm on like the 8 or 10 foot tall one. And so I get to the top, I go over, I jump and just land flat on my foot as hard as possible on one foot. And I feel it. And I'm like, that's not going to be good later. I was in a boot for like 2 months after that.
Shit.
Yeah.
What was this?
This was while I was learning Chinese.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's what I was gonna say. Why wouldn't I have noticed? No, you were over there.
Yeah, no, I was in a boot for like for a while after that. So, anyways, I ran this whole race. I finished in like 2 hours and 50 minutes, which the average on their website is like 4 to 4.5 hours for finishing this race. So I made a very good time. And I didn't really check the placements until later, after I had already left and gotten back to the school. I came in 4th. Out of all the people in my age group, I came in 4th. And I was like, dang, that's pretty good. I think there was like 50 to 60 people who did my age group in that race. So I was like, that's pretty good for that many people, right?
Okay.
So I was like, maybe I'm good at this Spartan thing. I think I'll sign up for another one. And so when I was in Arizona, I signed up for a sprint, which is a 5K, 3 miles, really easy. But it is like the one that I did in Monterey was like flat everywhere. Everywhere was flat. You're just running, there's different terrains and stuff. There's slippery spots and everything, but it was like flat. Now this 5K I did was like going up a straight line and then going down a straight line, just over and over again. So I finished at like the back of my pack. I was like, whew, that was rough. I don't think that's going to be good for me at all. This whole sprint thing, I'm not thinking this is good for me. But I finish it, and I get back to my wife, and I'm like, let's just go. I'm exhausted. I'm just going to grab all the stuff that I get for free, and we can leave. And she's like, okay, sounds good. You did great. We get out of there, and we're on the way back. I was like, I'll pull up whatever the placements are on my phone. I open it up. I came in 3rd. And they had a podium.
Man.
They had a podium. I left. I didn't know. Now, do you want to know the silver lining to this placement?
Actually, that's more of a bronze placement, I would say.
Okay, do you want to know the bronze lining to this placement?
I do.
Only 4 people competed in my age group at this event.
Oh, no.
So I beat one person.
But that guy, he was the final boss, though. Like, you definitely, you crushed it.
Yeah, I was way better than him. So yeah, that was a little bit crushing when I was like, oh, dang, well, I didn't actually get 3rd, I just kind of default beat one person.
But you haven't done a whole lot of these before. Like the people in front of you probably do like 12 of these things.
Yeah,
exactly. They probably do like 12 of these, and they knew the layout and everything. They knew how it was gonna go.
Yeah, I mean the obstacles are easy. What really messed me up on this one was most of these are like kind of Ninja Warrior-ish obstacles, which I'm used to. Like I'm swinging around. I know how to do that kind of stuff. Throwing my body real easy. All that gymnastic stuff, easy peasy. There is one obstacle that is nothing like anything else, and that is the spear throw, because Spartans have spears and they throw a spear. You have to throw it into a target. Whenever I did the Beast, the 21K, I freaking bullseyed that thing. I had missed every practice throw I got before the race started because they have like a spot where you can practice. I looked at my buddy, I was like, I've never thrown a spear before. And he goes, yeah, well, I mean, it'll probably be like, it won't be that bad. He goes over there, he knocks it out. He's throwing this spear easy. And I was like, oh, let me try. I throw it, it doesn't even make it to the target. Doesn't even make, I was like, oh, so I'm going to fail this. And when you fail an obstacle, you have to do 30 burpees. And 30 burpees takes, it probably takes like 5 minutes because I'm going slow. I just finished running full speed. So it's taking me like 5 minutes to do 30 burpees. It's a lot. And so I get to the sprint and I get to the spear throw, or in the beast, I get to it and I freaking bullseye that thing. I'm like, yeah, nice. I nailed it. First spear throw I ever did, and it was in the middle of the race. That's awesome. And so then I go to do the sprint, and I was like, I remember bullseyeing this thing last time under pressure. I can do it again. I grab that spear, throw it, and it goes like 7 feet forward and hits the ground. I go, and I get down and I do 30 burpees. It was awful.
See, now I'm sure the problem was when you're practicing your spear throwing at home,
right.
You're actually using both hands. You're used to dealing that D8 of damage, and during the race you have to throw it, which is one-handed. So that's the problem. Your practice just wasn't, it wasn't connecting.
You're right. I'm thinking my strength score and athletic score does a lot better than my like dexterity type throw and stuff.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So honestly, dude, next time, BYOS, bring your own spear. And practice right there. Obviously.
Right.
Makes the most sense.
Now, I don't doubt that some people cheat when they do this, because I wasn't running elites, I was running age group. So there's like open, which is you just compete and you're not really competing. And you get placed on the open leaderboard, but it doesn't matter. Age group is like, hey, we're competitive, but we don't consider ourselves the best of the best. And then elites is like, oh, I do this, I go to all of these. It's like I pay for the season pass. Yeah, they bring their own spear to this. And yeah, I did open the first time. So I don't know if they do the placements, like put everybody in the same pool, and then I did the age group this time. And I'm gonna keep doing age group because I'm happy for it to be separated by age and be competitive, like you're competing, but it's not, hey, I'm going to all of these.
You have to do all of them now. This is your thing. This is your identity.
No, that's expensive. That's expensive. One a year.
Yeah, I was surprised. Didn't you say it was how much money did you say it was to get into this most recent event?
This one's gonna be like, I have to get my wife a pass too, so it's gonna be like $180.
That's a lot to run on someone else's property.
Yeah. You run, you do 30 obstacles. Yeah, I mean, now for like marathons and stuff, like you have to sign up and pay to do those too.
Oh,
like you don't just sign up for a race. You don't like sign up for a race and go to it. You have to pay to compete in like marathons and stuff. Even if you're just running it for fun.
If I wanted to run like a short marathon, how long would I have to train for?
What do you mean a short marathon? They're all the same.
Like a short, or not a marathon, like a like a short running event. That's what I'm gonna say. If I want to do like a short running event,
5K.
Yeah. If I want to be somewhere average above average, like 3 months of training, 4 months of training.
I mean, you want to be like, if you want to finish it, like it's 3 miles, you can do that easy.
Yeah, but I could finish 3 miles. I mean, I'd be huffing and puffing. But if I want to be like, above average, top 10, if I want to be running like, I don't know, 50 feet per turn kind of vibe,
I think you could easily, like, with a couple months of just running consistently a couple times a week, you'd be fine.
I'd like to run one in my life just to prove I could do it and then never do it again.
Yeah, I think a half is super respectable. Like the fact that I ran the Beast, having never done a running event in my life and or a Spartan race, and I just ran it and hurt my foot. That was pretty solid. That was at like mile 4. So I ran another 8.5 miles after that on a hurt foot.
Busted foot. That's Spartan quality right there.
Yeah. Now what I didn't know is that you have to go underwater in some of these, in this one. Like I didn't know I was going to show up to an event where I had to go underwater, and then there was the spot where I had to swim under something, and I went, huh? I was like, I have to run wet? Are you kidding me?
Hopefully towards the end, so you didn't have wet shoes the whole time.
No. It was like mile 6, mile 7, I think they had it at. So after that, like you get to the point where you dry off.
Jesus Christ. That's too much, man. That's too much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a lot.
I don't like stepping in water in my kitchen with my sock, and you ran on it.
Yeah, I ran in wet socks and stuff. It happens. I mean, they're really fun events. They are cool. Now, they do have this, I swear this is all related to D&D, but they have this kind of, how when you go to a gym or you go to a rock climbing place or something, and you got the one group to the side that's like really into it?
Yeah. The hunky boys.
They have that, except I think it's like 90% of Spartan racers. Because when you go up there, and I find this, I'm not downing anybody who does them like as their consistent thing, because I like them. I think they're a lot of fun. But I don't like the mentality of like, this is my identity. And when you show up, they do this whole like, all right, we're going to get in this big group, and they make you say like a motto or whatever, and you like cheer and you like do like Spartan yells and stuff. And I'm standing there the whole time, and they want everybody to do it. And last time I was there, I was the only one not doing it. And I'm just kind of like, okay. But yeah, they have everybody like get together and yell and say their like motto or whatever. And that's just the level I can't go to. I just like going to the event, coming in third and leaving.
I want to meet the guy that shows up in just full gladiator armor and pledges allegiance to Sparta before he runs this thing, and just does it with like a sword out the whole time. That's the guy.
That would be lit. Most of them are skinny runner dudes who can swing their bodies really well. I just happen to be more of the like gorilla version, where like I have a lot of, I'm a bulky runner dude.
So you'd say you versus what, 50 men? You can handle them?
50? No. You're talking about like a silverback gorilla?
Yeah, the gorilla versus 100. So you're kind of, you're getting there. Maybe
I
like
think
20,
me versus 2 of the regular dudes, like of the skinny dudes who win the event. Me versus 2 of them, I got it.
But confidently, you've got this. It's not like a debate. Like you can handle 2 people. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, I think maybe is when we get to like 3 and 4. That's like maybe I can squeak it out. And then when we get to 5, it's like there's no way. There's literally no way. There's one of them for each of my limbs to hold me down.
I think so. We have to get into the episode here in a second, but for future reference, that just made me think of it. We absolutely have to do an episode where we do the stat block of a gorilla and how many nobles or how many commoners can he take. We could do the math on it.
Oh, that would be fun. That would be a fun premise. I like that.
We could do that for like 3 hours.
I could do a YouTube video about that where I'm like, okay, settling the gorilla debate for reals, and it's just like
this is it.
And literally, I would just sit down with the character sheet, with the sheets, and be like, okay, let's add up the CRs and like all the different things and see what a combat with this would look like and put it up on Roll20. I like this. I like this idea.
1-1. That might have to be the next one. We'll see. We'll toss it around a little bit.
I had a fun video idea. This is D&D related. Welcome to Table Talk Friday, a D&D podcast. My name is Seth Reed, and I'm here with one of my best friends, Andrew Romano. Drew, how are you doing today?
Live the dream, man. Live the dream. I was just playing with my little puppy, and he was happy, and I guess he hurt one of his teeth, and so I was like, I couldn't get in his mouth to like see what it was, and so in 10 minutes I taught him to hold still while I opened his mouth, and he does it now. He's the smartest dog I've ever met in my life, dude. I'm gonna get one of those stickers on the back of my car. It says like, my dog is on a roll, real smarter than your kid, something like that. He's the smartest little bugger.
That's cool. No, I held a newborn for the first time in my life today, a 3-day-old. I was taking care of some of our friends' dogs for a few days because they had their baby and they did a home birth.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So we had the dogs here while they did all the labor and stuff for I think she was in labor for like 48 hours. Like 2 days.
Oh
yeah, her first stage of labor was like 24 hours, like the early stages, and then the second day where it's like bad was like another 24 hours.
This is why you need a cleric in your group, man. That would have been half time.
And so we had their dogs during this time, and you know what? I hate to say it, but I complained that there were dogs whenever I had a cat, and I was like juggling 3 animals all the time. I was like, man, this is, and one of them's a puppy, so she's peeing on the floor every now and then, and I'm like, oh. Anyways. That's beside the point. So I held a newborn today. He was adorable. And yeah, I had this fun video idea for the channel and that fell through. I didn't end up doing it because it involved strangers. And What I was trying to do was get like 3 strangers from online to get together. And I wanted to, the hard part was these guys were really nice. And I went on like an LGS Reddit and put up a little post and got a couple people who were down to play. It ended up falling through because of the labor stuff.
Makes sense, yeah.
But I wanted to do a D&D game where I got these people together and just didn't prepare anything.
Oh my God.
I wanted 0 prep. I was like, I'm just going to show up and have nothing and then have them introduce their characters and make up the session after that and see what happens.
I feel like that would be super fun, and I can't lie and say I haven't thought about it myself, but the stress of it, and especially with strangers, I think that would be the worst.
Well, that was the fun part because the first half of the video was just going to be me getting people to play D&D with me.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like you have to tell a story
okay.
throughout your video, and I needed the first half to be me communicating with these people. And they were all really cool. They were all, I got them all in a little Discord channel, and they were all like pitching out character ideas. They all wanted to be members of the Zentrum. I was like,
really?
Yeah, they were pitching ideas. They all sent tokens and stuff. Sadly, it fell through because my friend went into labor. But like, it was going to be pretty cool. And I literally had no stress because I was like, I do this a lot of weeks anyways, where I know what happened last time in the story, and I show up and I tell the next part.
That's true.
Lately, I've been doing a lot more prep because I've had more time. And there's been plenty of times where an hour before is when I'm thinking about it, and then I show up and we run the session.
And it works out. It works out every time. So, yeah. I mean, clearly you're doing something right.
Yeah, so I really wanted to do this for like, what happens if I know nothing? If I come into this with nothing, and I just say like, hey, here's where we open up, and like, I'm talking not even Roll20 maps up. They're playing in Roll20, but I don't have the maps ready.
So are you allowed under the pressure to grab a map or create one on the fly, or is it strictly, are you talking like more of a theater of the mind?
No. I'm talking like while they are discussing and RPing, I'm getting maps ready.
Okay. All resources are here. You have the full arsenal.
Yeah.
You have no time.
Right.
I gotcha.
I might just try to do it with you guys.
Yeah, I think that was the most fun.
I still think it would be fun, but the fun part with the strangers was going to be like the communicating. See, I need the idea to be like, hey, we have a one-off coming up, and I don't want anybody to know about it, you know? I want it to be a surprise that I didn't come prepared. So
I think you could pull it off for sure.
Yeah, I think I can pull off a good session, and even if I do, even if it's a dumpster fire, it makes a good video.
The thing is, we would have fun regardless, because all we'd be doing is just dumb crap. So we'd be role playing with each other, learning each other's characters, and be like, oh yeah, that guy, he's suspicious, and then he becomes the final boss.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. You guys make me do different stories anyways when you pull a character to the side and start talking to him, and I'm like, this was not a guy. This was not a guy you're supposed to talk to.
You tell me he wasn't one of the main characters, this random bartender guy?
For real. No, so I think that's a skill that most DM, like a lot of DMs could use and learn from, is being able to adapt on the fly like that. Because I know maybe that comes as a talent to certain people. Like, I feel like that's the only way I've ever been able to do it, because every time I prepare for hours and hours on end, it doesn't happen anyways, so why even try?
Agreed.
So I've seen posts of people online talking about like, yeah, I tried doing the whole lazy DM thing where I just have like some brief notes and stuff, and then every time I've gotten like an hour into the session and gotten stumped. And I get it, like some people's creative juices don't flow like that, but I think it's a good practice.
I'm surprised that someone would say they get stumped an hour in. I feel like by an hour in, you actually have more material. You have more of the characters' kind of backgrounds, a little bit of personality. There's some stuff going on. Like, you've met a couple people. You know, the story starts to kind of come into play, versus when you first start, you're somewhere and there's some people, you know, like I feel like that would be the hardest part for sure.
Yeah, though I think the specific post I read was like, hey, I am having trouble preparing D&D for my players every week because I'll do all this prep, and then an hour in, like, it feels like they've already gone through everything, which to me that means it feels like maybe they're just kind of pushing through all the stuff that they wanted to do or wanted to happen, and then it just ends there or something. I don't know. It's a tough problem to solve, just because I do think it comes down to how you think about the game. Like, if you need a guide to go by, then I really don't have much advice for it. Like, how do I teach someone to think outside their own box?
I think the best way to do that is just to play the game. I mean, you know, you can't. I mean, sure, you could teach people things, and you give them models, like, well, you know, if you do 3 encounters and, you know, the CR system and all that kind of stuff. But really, you're only going to get better at that through play. You could read up all day, but you're not going to get it until you do it.
Yeah, for real. Well, that can lead us a little bit into, you know, thinking on the fly and stuff, leading us into today's topic. We recently experienced just a tragic spur-of-the-moment character death. I made an entire YouTube video about it, talking about it. I pulled up Roll20 and went through every single thing that happened. Like, look, this is how it happened. I wasn't planning this. No one else took any damage. But Patrick's character was just spur of the moment killed based on 2 rolls that I made and 2 rolls that he made, and no one else in the combat was injured. This was because I ran wraiths. Okay, they were nerfed wraiths who lower your hit points whenever they make contact, but only if you fail a con save. Not only did I roll high both times, but Patrick also failed both of his con saves, so his hit points were lowered. And yeah, he tragically died, which meant I had to think on my feet very, very quickly, because we were in session 4 of a campaign that's supposed to be like 15 to 20 sessions. So what I ended up doing is I managed to leave off at a point where they were meeting a ship of new characters so that he could be on that ship. And that was what I did, because yeah, it was a tragic moment. So Drew, I kind of want your insight on the moment, and then also how you think character death should be dealt with, because we also had Chase bring up like his idea for like, can I save him?
I mean, it hit really hard and really quick. So we were in this combat, and everything honestly was going pretty well. Like you had said, everyone else took 0 points of damage here. And I got a couple swings at me, and they just weren't hitting. I don't have a high AC. I don't have like a build for that. I'm just a barb. Like I'm meant to take these hits. And so the fact that nobody else took damage was weird, because we felt like we were handling it really well. But then he just, like, after the first hit on him, where he lost half of his health, it all kind of sunk in like, oh, okay, well, maybe it was a high roll. And it was. But unfortunately, so was the next one.
Yeah.
So I really wasn't expecting it at all. We had just started to, like, really like his character, get into like a little bit of his background, some of his personality. He had just got some henchmen onto our crew, which only he could speak to, by the way, because they were the Thri-Kreen, Thri-Kreen, which are like these praying mantis people, essentially. But he was the only one that could talk to these people. So he was gone, and we couldn't even talk to them after that. We lost the translator here. But as far as the character, like how they should be treated, I mean, I think every character is going to be a little different. I'd say probably a character death in the earlier sessions of a campaign might be a little bit easier to deal with, right? You may not be as emotionally invested. As players, I think the best thing you could do is kind of give that player their moment. And I think we did. I think we kind of gave Quigglius his opportunity to make his role, say his last words, that kind of thing, and even after he was deceased, right? And we continued to fight, because the fight was not over. They were still attacking us, right? We were kind of a little more quiet, being like respect. We're still being ourselves, having fun at the game, but there was still kind of that almost silence, the tension in the air that you kind of have to respect. And I think that's a big piece of character deaths, period, not just the early deaths. Overall, is kind of just respecting that sort of tension and the stress in the air. And it may not even be bad stress. The person may have been excited because maybe the character died exactly how they would have wanted to. Maybe it was really heroic. It could be any multitude of things. But I think the biggest variable is kind of feeling out the vibe at the table and then respecting that tension with a balance.
Yeah, absolutely. And actually, my biggest regret from Patrick's character dying is not giving him a bigger chance to like describe everything that was going on with him. Like I let him talk about how he like fell down. I described how he went down and everything. But I really feel like I should have been like, all right, Patrick, what's the last thing you do with this character, right? I wish that I had said something like that, because in the moment, it didn't feel to me like it had really happened, because we don't really deal with that very often.
It was just so fast.
It was so fast. It was so unexpected. And the hit points weren't exact. I think I was like 3 or 4 over what he would have died to anyways. So it's not like there was a chance there. And, those are the moments that come up. And I want your perspective on this, where I think, should I have fudged the dice roll there? Because I've had, ever since in Storm King's Thunder, every now and then I would get the urge. And there was 1 or 2 times where I was like, I think it's better if this passes, or like, I think it's better if this fails. And I did change it. But then ever since that campaign ended, I was like, never again, never. And I've never changed a dice roll since. I've just been like, this is what happened. Like ever since we started campaign 2, I was like, no, I think I'm going to make sure I fully commit because I still think about those times that I did change something and I wonder what would have happened if I just left it, you know? So like when Pyth died in campaign 2, that was Drew's character. When he just went down and died, like it just happened. And I was like, yeah, I know he's been here for 40 something sessions, but he's dead now. So get on with it.
Disintegrate Rays are nasty for beholders.
Yeah. And yeah, likewise, like similar thing here. I was like, let's just move on with it. And it didn't really feel to me like it had happened, especially because Patrick has lost many characters in a one-off. And many times has he just played out of pocket and lost a character in a one-off, and I've gone, it's whatever, it's a one-off. But normally he has just such character survival luck. There were a million times his character in our first campaign should have died where he didn't, just based on either pure luck or because the party loves him so much. That they gave him all their resources.
It's funny you mention that because I thoroughly expect him to find himself in these crazy lethal situations, and I always think in the moment, oh, he's dead. But I know in my heart he can't. He's Pat. He's never going to die. It never but it did. It did happen this time. And
but
I think
he wasn't even playing bad.
It was. He wasn't. He
this
was
is the
playing
one time
fine.
Yeah.
Yep.
He was playing perfect. He was playing fine. That's the whole thing I was thinking is he's not really in danger here. Like I was thinking that the whole time. I was just like, nah, there's really no danger here. He's just fine. And it wasn't one of those moments where there's plenty of moments where, you know, he jumps off the side of the spaceship in space to hit something and is floating out there with all the enemies. Oh yeah, he's dead, right? No, he's somehow gonna make it. But this time where he's grounded, it's him 1v1 with another enemy. He has Shield of Faith on him from an ally, and he doesn't. It's not like he had a low modifier or anything. He just rolled like a 2, and then he did that 2 times in a row. So
yeah,
it was one of those moments where I was like, "What do I do here?" Because I really wanted. To be honest, I wanted Quigglius to live. I really did.
Know.
I really did.
We just got some of his story. We were just starting to like. I mean, he was a really mean character, and he was being a little bit mean to our crew. But you know, we were starting to get that personality. He didn't get a chance to, you know, have his maybe niceness arc, or you know, he makes some new friends and he stops lying to us about these these crew henchmen, right?
Yeah.
But and to your point, right? There's always the point in the combat where you're kind of expecting it to flip, or you know, or maybe you can expect the death, but everyone's kind of low. That was not the case at all. It was 2 hits on him, everyone else actively fighting, doing what they can, using their creative abilities, throwing their resources, using their spells, right? And it just didn't work, which is part of the beauty of, you talk about fudging the dice, right? It's just sometimes it's nice to let it happen because it's just what was meant to be. You know, it's good for the story.
And I think it works out that way because one, now your party has a character to remember to like fight for whenever things come up. Like, hey, this, especially P3, Chase's character, who has only been built for like 4 days. He's an autonome, so he's not very old, only just activated, and this was his first time experiencing something like that, and it showed. And then also, we got a new character introduced who I'm very fond of now. Seychelle, Patrick's new character, is just an absolute jerk. And I think it's hilarious because Patrick usually just plays like kind of off the wall versions of him. But instead, like Seychelle, I feel like he's actually playing Seychelle. And I'm like, yeah, you're doing a great job. He's a Githyanki and he's playing into that role where he's acting like Lae'zel when you first meet her in Baldur's Gate 3, where like, she is mean to anyone who is not Githyanki or human. She does not care.
There have been a few characters, and this is not an episode about Patrick per se, but there has been a few characters that Patrick has played, I think, that shine through some of the others. And normally, when you realize, you'll realize very quickly that you're playing with one of those characters. You can see that there's something different about his demeanor. He plays his character just, I honestly don't even know how to describe it other than different. It's just he puts some more passion, more something into it, and it shines through so brightly. And I don't know how he does it or how it happens. Maybe it's some sort of prep. Maybe it's something that he's been building up to for a while. When he was talking to me about Seychelle, he was really hyped about it. You know, he was talking about how highly excited he was to be playing this character. And I don't always hear that from, you know, sometimes you just throw a one-off character together and we all do it, you know, it happens. But there's something about this character, and I can see it in him. I'm excited to see more, and we wouldn't be able to experience that without Quigglius' death.
Exactly.
So I'm glad you didn't fudge.
Yeah, no, and I never will. I never will. I'll kill all your characters.
No, don't do it. Don't do it.
Well, and yeah, I think dealing with character death is not that like crazy. But the thing that bothers me is people who think too casually about it, where like they treat their characters as like, oh, you'll just make another character. Like it's bound to happen. It's bound to happen because of the dice, because they said so on Table Talk Friday, a D&D podcast. Like, I don't think anybody should use that as justification, because the goal is to tell a story. It's not to win as the DM. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I had another one of those moments recently. We played last week, and I made a deadly encounter. I was like, I want them to realize that every big encounter you guys have in space is going to be rough. Like, you guys are fighting for your lives here, because this is like there's a reason people don't come back from Doom Space in Spelljammer. And so
it's true.
I wanted to make it obvious. I wanted it to be like, yeah, these guys are here. These bandits are here. And you're fighting their boss. And their boss, even by himself, could wipe your party if the right rolls came up.
And really, he was the one that did all the damage. He had 2 henchmen. They really didn't do nothing. We shut them down.
They did nothing. The whole encounter.
Yeah. They tried. Didn't work.
So, and I think that's what's important, is make things balanced but fair. And if character death comes up, make it meaningful. Because that, like I said, that was the one big regret I had, is that I didn't say, okay, Patrick, what is the most important thing for you to say and do in these moments? And then Jace brought up, he was like, hey, yeah, I know, like, I don't have Revivify or anything. Is there any way, like, I can give over, like, some of my life force to him? And I, like, do this and bring him back? And I was like, okay, but like, if you give him your life force, like you give him a hit point, he's gonna get up with 1 out of 1 hit points. And that was my justification. I was like, you can do that, and like get a Revivify per se, but he's not gonna be adventuring anymore because he takes 2 hit points and now he's dead again because it's double his total.
And I think that was a nice moment, though. I mean, I know you said you regret not giving him kind of like, Pat, what do you want to do? But I also think there was some beauty in the fact that it was so quick. I think that's, it was tragic. It was unexpected. And because it was like that, I kind of like that there wasn't a last moment per se. And really the last moments were that. It was Chase's character, P3, trying to save his life. And us while we weren't in the game per se, out of character going, is there anything we could do, guys? I mean, do you revivify? No. I mean, anything. And him, kind of pleading to be like, hey, is there anything I could do? And offering his life for us, I thought was kind of a nice moment. Even if it wasn't Patrick doing, right? I think that was Patrick's moment as well.
Yeah.
Which was nice.
Yeah, I agree. I think that it was especially important for Chase's character because that was his first death he had witnessed with the group he was with. And he was just so worked up about it. Like, I need to save him. I'm built to save things.
Is that the first one?
What do you mean?
I guess it would be the first death he's experienced. Would it? Yeah.
Well, as P3 is what I mean. Like P3
well, I'm
is
trying
only
to
a
think
couple.
Back even
Chase
even
was a part of the session with Pyth.
Yeah, but Pyth was resurrected. Right, I'm trying to think as far as Chase's experience. I guess this was his first kind of encounter with.
Well, when Chase and I first started playing, we started playing with a group with a DM who did not rebalance encounters after beefing them up for a group of 6 whenever we went back down to a group of 4. And we lost 2 characters in a session, and then Chase and I's characters were the only 2 that lived.
Oh, man,
that was with Schmidt the Monk and Snagglepuss, named after the Pink Panther, the wizard.
I love it. It's so creative.
Yeah, so that was Chase's first character. Was Snagglepuss the wizard.
Snagglepuss the wizard. I wish I was there for that. I had started D&D just a little too late.
You were too busy Magic the Gathering it up.
But I was so good, man. I was killing it. I was making that Death Touch deck. Ooh, green-black. That's the way to go.
I remember I was playing Boros, and I still play a lot of Boros, red and white. And
I don't like red and white, man.
It's so aggressive. It's so fun. But now my favorite commander deck, the cloud deck that I have, is green, red, and white. So
tricolor.
Yeah, so a lot of commander decks will be 3 colors because you base them off of 1 card, and there's so many cards in the deck that you can do a lot of better combinations like that. And so yeah, most of my commander decks are 3 colors. I have a couple 2-color ones.
So you mentioned Magic, and I'm gonna kind of like pull it back in here.
Yeah.
we're talking about death a lot in D&D. And Magic obviously doesn't have it. You can lose your commander, and it's nothing like that. In video games, you could be emotionally moved by the death of a character. And there's plenty of mainstream games you could play that have that effect, right? I don't know if there is a game that compares in dealing with that kind of loss other than D&D. Maybe there's some other role-playing games I haven't played.
Let me push you to some gaming history and tell you why a certain game made gaming history. We're going to talk about a game I finished recently, but a game that was made a long time ago, Final Fantasy VII. The reason that game made as many waves as it did. Now, have you know anything about this game?
I know absolutely nothing about this game.
I know you're never going to play it, and it doesn't matter. So, spoilers. Everybody else listening does know this already, though. I just know you don't know it. But spoilers for Final Fantasy VII. In that game, you are basically it's a role playing game, right? You build up a party of fun people that are misfits and all have different roles in the party. You got your healer, your person who casts spells, your person with a big sword, etc. A person with a gun for an arm.
Gun for an arm, that's
cool.
Barrett,
one of your first party members that
of
you
course
get.
His name's Barrett.
Yeah, he's awesome. I love Barrett. He's your boy the whole game. But yeah, one of his arms is a gun. It's literally a Gatling gun.
Oh, it's so cool. Which is, I guess, contradictory to his name, but I'll allow it.
Yeah. So I never thought about that. Oh my god. Barrett like a gun.
Yeah. We're both learning something today.
Oh my god. So you go through most of this game. One of the first characters you meet, her name is Aerith. She is the last of a race of basically people that descended from gods. But she looks and acts, she's basically a human, but she's your healer, your caster.
Like an Azamar sort of a vibe.
Yeah, but she's just a human, literally. But yes.
Okay.
So she's along the ride. Basically, your quest is to stop Sephiroth. None of that stuff matters. In the middle of the game, like the middle of the game, you go in to finally like stop Sephiroth once and for all, right? Like this is it. You're gonna do it. You show up. Aerith is like praying at an altar thing because she has to pray to the goddesses and whatever to stop whatever's going on. It's all very confusing. And Sephiroth, in the middle of her praying, kills her, like stabs her, comes down from above and stabs her. She dies.
It was like a surprise attack?
Yeah, so Aerith knows she's gonna die. She's doing this for a cause, but none of the party knows this. And so you show up, you witness this, you watch as Sephiroth kills like your best friend in front of you. She dies. And you know what happens in anime when a character dies, right? Like they have a 10-minute long speech where they flash back to all of their memories with the party and all of that. None of that happens with Aerith in Final Fantasy VII. The last you hear from her is her sitting down to pray, and the second that sword goes into her, she's gone forever. Gone forever. Wow. She doesn't come back. People like throughout history were just like trying to find ways that you can make different choices in the story to lead to her living, and you just can't do it because the point of the game is to teach you about life and death. Like, that's the point of the game, is that life is important and like to cherish it and whatever. And to show that death is permanent. So,
and now you said this was the 7th game. Was she in previous versions of this game?
No. Final Fantasy. So all the Final Fantasies are an anthology series. They're all separate.
Oh, okay.
So this is the only one she's in. And then now the remakes, Final Fantasy Remake, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and then Final Fantasy VII, whatever the third one's going to be, they are retelling that story, but they do it a little bit differently. Like, I'm not going to spoil any of it, but like basically the point of this one is saying fate's not always as it has to be. And so I don't even know if they're going to like kill her, leave her dead or whatever, or if she even dies. But I have played the first 2 games, so I know the story up to that point. But yeah, so I think that compares because that was a big moment in history. That's the reason that it made such waves when it came out, was like Aerith dies and she's dead forever. Like she's been with you, she has all her gear, and now she's dead.
So what I'm hearing is, to compare to dealing with death and like tragedy in D&D, to get to that level, it has to be just an absolute cinematic masterpiece.
Yes.
So no matter what, D&D is on this sort of pedestal, right? It's very different, it's very unique. And the only way to get there is to just experience crazy like staples in the gaming or maybe movie cinema type of stuff. Maybe you can get a similar reaction, or TV shows nowadays.
The big thing I think is what's really important is they either need to kill off someone that you're actively with the entire time and you're not expecting it, or they need to kill your character that you're controlling on. Like,
God, that's
like
hard,
imagine
man.
but it needs to be like a character you made, right? Like you're playing Baldur's Gate 3 and the character you made, it dies. Like you get to the end of Act 1 or Act 2 and they kill them. And now you have to play as the rest of the party dealing with your character's death.
That's rough.
Wouldn't that be crazy?
That's rough.
Mass Effect. Mass Effect, you play as Commander Shepard, but at the end of Mass Effect 2, Commander Shepard dies and you switch over to playing as like Liara or Garrus the rest of the third game.
That would be insane.
Could
especially
you imagine?
Since Shepard was there. I say she because we played the female Shepard, who was way better than Shepard. So much actually has personality there. But yeah, just they were there from the get go. And so the idea of playing through however many games there may be, I know there's other versions of Mass Effect now, and then losing them and having to do that would be absolutely insane.
It would be crazy, and I think it would harm it more than it would help it.
See, I hope not though, because now that we're talking about this and I'm excited, I hope Pat gets to kind of do that. Like maybe Quigglius is our staple to this mission.
But his character died at the end of book 1 in a series of like 13 books.
That's true. Yeah, but these are our beginnings, right? These are our origins. We don't know how that'll affect us going forward.
Right, but Spelljammer's not going to take. But Spelljammer's not going to take years and years. It's going to take months and months.
Well, I mean, months is a lot of time, man. You can grow really close or drift away from somebody.
Yeah, now that Twist 1 is out there, I'm excited for Twist 2. There is a Twist 2, and I'm going to have to ask you guys to do something, and it's going to be like, you guys are going to be like, what? And I'm going to go,
If it's grab a magic sword, I'm not doing it. I'm telling you right now.
It's not. It's not a, hey, grab a magic sword, it's going to kill your character type deal.
Okay, all right.
It's much different. It's much more interesting. But yeah, I have a little twist that's going to be extremely fun. It's something we've never done before.
Okay. Oh, that's right. We were talking about this last time. Okay, I'm excited to see whatever this mystery twist is. Hopefully, it's not playing 3 characters. Cause I did that once and it was bad.
No, we'll talk about it when we get. That was interesting though. We'll talk about it when we get on the show after it's happened. I think we still need a while before we get there. You guys have retrieved our item number 2, and honestly, I think give it another 3 or 4 sessions, maybe like 5 sessions from now, and we will have introduced twist number 2.
Okay. I'm ready, man. I'm feeling attached to these characters, and I'm ready for a couple solid sessions for this thing ends.
Yeah, me too, man. I'm very happy with how it's been going so far. I didn't think I was going to care about this as much as I do, and now that we're there, I care about it more than I possibly thought I could have.
You know what I care about the most? Period. Like out of anything? Good old gamer. He is one of our best patrons. He's fantastic. He's getting a shout out today because he's just fantastic. And good old gamer, I would hate to lose you, man. So roll good. And honestly, if you were gonna die at my table, I'd fudge the roll. I'll say it right now.
I would fudge it. I would fudge it instantly.
I'd absolutely fudge it. You're the man, dude. We got you.
And with that, you know what? I think we've had a great discussion today. This is a little bit shorter than normal, but our boy Zach's getting married this weekend, so I got to fly out really early in the morning. So if you want more Table Talk Friday, if you want the rest of this episode, you have to go to patreon.com/Table Talk Friday and hear the post show we're about to record for like the next 10, 20, 30 hours. And
30 hours.
And you can also find us on youtube.com/@TableTalkFriday. You can also find me at youtube.com/@TheDMSeth, where I'm making a bunch of cool D&D content. But with that, I think I'm gonna need, Gordo to take us out of this one.
Hi guys, this is Gordo. I don't know what's going on here or what a podcast is, but I'm looking for my friend, Lil Gordo. He looks like me, except nothing like me, so if you could help me find him, that'd be great.